My name's Sharon Hudson. I'm the Community Development and Partnerships Lead at Birmingham St Mary's Hospice. We will be, if we can get it sorted out, we will be going live on Facebook with on our Birmingham St Mary's Hospice page with the service today. So if you prefer not to be seen on that, then you have the option to kind of hide your face on your screen, and that option's there underneath you. Just some housekeeping before we start and welcome Steve McCabe, who's going to open our service for us today. Everybody will join muted. If you can stay muted unless you're speaking, that would be great. You do get some echo and it's difficult for everyone to hear. So if you can see your mute is on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, please try and stay muted. If you want to contribute, say hello. If you've got anything to say, you can go into the chat box and type in. We are grateful for everybody for joining us today, and in particular for those that have come that are contributing to the programme, that are sharing poetry, remembrance, music and prayer with us today. Just in terms of ground rules, we know that this could, this is an emotional service. That's okay. It's okay for us to be emotional. If we're there and we can listen to each other and show kindness and respect for each other, that would be really valued. I will hand over to Steve in a moment, but just to let you know that we will take you through, there'll be a slide program that will take you through each section, and we'll walk you through that so you'll know what to expect. We've got lots of speakers and lots of contributors today. At the end of the service, there will be the opportunity, if you want to or if you need to hang around for a bit, and if you have been affected by the service and want some bereavement support, then please stay with us, and we will be there for you for that at the end. Okay, so I'd like to start by welcoming our local Birmingham Selly Oak MP, Steve McCabe, who's going to open our service for us. Thank you, Steve.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's great to be with you tonight. You know, we're about 2/3 of the way through this year, and for many of us, it will be a year full of sadness. It's been an awful time with lives disrupted, plans destroyed, and futures denied. I'm grateful for this opportunity to join you, because I think it's really important as we try and get on with our lives in the midst of this crisis, that we create space to grieve and remember loved ones lost. Remember them for the people and beings that mean so much to us, not as statistics in news bulletins. I want to thank St Mary's for organising tonight's event and for all the wonderful work you do throughout the year, and especially all that you've done throughout this pandemic, and for the way adult hospices across Birmingham and Solihull have come together to create a single hub to offer help and support for those in need. And I want to thank our NHS staff and care home workers and volunteers who've given so much at this time. I know that staff and residents from Andrew Cohen House in my constituency are joining us tonight. I want to thank them for the wonderful work they do and the way they've coped in this crisis. There are 23 care homes across my constituency. The people who work there have been magnificent, and I doubt I can ever properly convey how grateful I am for all that they've done. And of course, I want to thank all those volunteers, people who've collected and distributed food, Brum Baby Bank, our magnificent network of SOAS, who've provided scrubs and face masks to hospitals and care settings all over Birmingham, and thousands of unsung heroes for the way they've helped elderly neighbours, those who've been shielding, and others who've needed a helping hand. As a politician, I recognise that adversity can bring out the bad in people, but that's usually outweighed by the generosity, self-sacrifice, thoughtfulness, and sense of community we witness. Those are the things that get us through. It's that coming together that matters. Thank you, everyone at St Mary's, for letting me be part of this tonight. Let's build on that feeling of community as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Birmingham St Mary's Hospice have been working with care homes across Birmingham for about 18 months now, and we have been working in particular over COVID times directly with staff in care homes, caring for those that are at the end of their lives, and working with the Birmingham Community Healthcare Trust care home support team. We have seen firsthand really the incredible sense of isolation and loss that has come from these times. But what we've also seen is incredible teamwork and support for each other. People pulling together, people caring for and looking after each other. We've felt in some ways, and this service was conceived with our friends from BVSC and from Peter from Birmingham Council of Faiths, because we wanted to be able to just do something to bring us together at a time when we're not together, to share space, to be able to know that we are all in this together and we're there to care for each other. As I mentioned before, there is opportunity for bereavement support at the end of the programme. What we will do now is start the service with some personal experiences, and Kate Palmer, who's our lead clinical nurse specialist from St Mary's, will join the staff from Andrew Cohen House and talk about their experiences over the last few months. Thank you, Kate.
Welcome everybody. Hello. I really welcome this opportunity to work with Andrew Cohen, who I know quite well. And I suppose what I've been asked to do is what I can do is share my experiences really, and really echo what's been said already. I'm clinical nurse specialist for care homes with a lot of experience in palliative care, and actually for 2 years now we've been in care homes, but really powering along the last 18 months, and really privileged when the COVID crisis started to be able to reach out and work with the community trust. And I was actually seconded onto their team, which is a brand new team of staff that's been relocated just for the crisis to support care homes, and it's the enhanced care home support team. We didn't know what to expect. It didn't unfold exactly as we expected, but it's been an amazing journey, but and a real eye-opener. And I think the word magnificent has been used, and I will use it again about the staff in the care home and the residents and their families. I think the main thing for me is working together. So I'm just going to go through a bit of what I've observed, the challenges I've seen. It's just going to be a list, but I hope it just gives you a flavour, a tiny flavour of what I've observed the last sort of 5-6 months. And then what the homes and the people in the homes, just a taste of how they've risen to those challenges. So it's things like the big one, not being able to see each other properly. 70% of our communication and communication at the end of life is so important. So a mask, 70% of our communication is non-verbal. you're wearing masks all of a sudden, and hoods and hazmat suits, some people, and you're working with residents who might not understand that all the time. And I think what I saw a lot of the time was fear and anxiety, residents, families, staff, and how that was managed and how people looked after each other, and rose to that. And it took a lot of time. I think the managers, the care home managers and the staff leading on that, and each other, and all staff, I'm talking all staff, kitchen staff, healthcare assistants, gardeners, everybody. Suddenly there's a real emphasis on infection control. Suddenly there's changing guidance all the time. PPE, all the challenges we've heard about, not enough, an increase in price, some are faulty, just wearing it in the heat, but also funny things like residents who'd say when staff first went in, they'd say, oh, is this a hold up? You know, funny stories as well. Then there's the testing, all of a sudden that they're testing, there's a lack of kits, there's faulty kits, there's lots of people to try and help, but everyone just struggling at times. There's suddenly the care homes are at the centre of political and media maelstrom. They're answering to local authorities, CCGs, their corporations, Public Health England. They've got people phoning them, you know, asking the same questions. They're also dealing with their own illness, their own family's illness. They're shielding, they're isolating themselves maybe. We've had GPs in bed giving advice to care homes, sick themselves. We've had managers at home, managing their home at home. Amazing. Also, I think dealing with a new illness that no one isn't predictable, that we're learning as we go, the suddenness of their residents' deterioration, bearing in mind a lot of the residents are surrogate families, really. The staff, the relationship is amazing between the residents, and suddenly some residents are getting ill very, very quickly. So there's only a chance to comfort and be with them, and that's all the staff can do. And also the big thing, families can't visit. That's the one thing staff feel they can do well when somebody is dying, and suddenly they can't do that. So it's huge, absolutely huge. Then the numbers that died as well. I've seen staff that are just shell-shocked. They're absolutely shell-shocked by what they've been through, and seen happening, and saying all we could do was be with them. So communicating as well, not being able to communicate sometimes as well as we'd like, but having to communicate through telephones, telehealth. I've had care home staff teaching doctors how to use telehealth, which is quite interesting. Amazing. Suddenly they're having, when staff come in, they're having to take their temperatures, take their mobile phones off them, check their oxygen levels of residents. They're having to do things they didn't have to do before, and all wondering where it goes, how to do it all. Suddenly people are communicating through windows. They're kissing people through windows. They're passing food through windows. People are sneaking in through side doors. Care home staff have bent over backwards to, when residents are very poorly, to get their families to see them, and have that communication, that last link. They've really worked hard at that, but it's been very, very difficult. That's it. And so what I've seen them rising to it is managers and staff never taking a day off. I've got one manager who hasn't had a day since he started, and I really believe that. Staff staying, moving in, and staying in the home, working tirelessly. They're continuously, despite all these calls, all these demands on them, friendly, professional, despite, you know, people asking for the same information, and feeling under the microscope and criticised whatever they do sometimes. And they've dealt with it with humour, hard work, grace, when they've been worried about their own health, their family's health. They've really risen to the challenge individually, as teams, the homes and groups. And we hope the multidisciplinary team have helped them to do that. We hope we've been of some help. And I just want to emphasise at the end, all this on top of what they normally do. So you've still got our most vulnerable, precious people in society with many more complex illnesses than they used to have, living longer, which is wonderful. But these care homes are looking after people who normally 10 years ago would have been in hospital. And they're, you know, it's a huge, huge challenge. So that on top of everything, plus probably with less staff, and staff that are worried and frightened. So the word magnificent is not an exaggeration. And I hope I've done you justice, because I do think they're magnificent. Thank you.
We'd like to invite the staff from Andrew Cohen House to join us. Unfortunately, Janet, who was the relative of her mum died in Andrew Cohen House, is unable to join us this evening. We were expecting her, but she can't come because of Zoom technical issues. But she wanted to be able to express her deep gratitude to the staff from Andrew Cohen House for the way in which, despite all of the restrictions and the situation that they had, they still enabled Mum to have a peaceful and dignified death. So if I can hand over to Andrew Cohen now, please. Hi, guys.
Hi. I don't know if you can see us.
We can see you. We can't hear you guys. Can the person that's speaking just maybe get a little bit closer to the mic or shout really loud?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's it.
Okay. My name's Julie, and I'd just like to read the COVID Reflections from Andrew Cohen House. It's a piece that's been prepared by Sharon Gray, our CEO and manager. So I'd just like to take pleasure in reading it to you. Little did we know when we celebrated and welcomed in the year 2020 that we would have such a challenge to encounter. Rather than focus on all the negatives, of which there have been a few, the most important thing that I would like to register is the commitment and remarkable endurance shown by our wonderful staff. We recognised how frightened and anxious we all were at the beginning, but we always promised that to be open and honest with both staff and relatives. And this, we believe, has been the right course of action for us. We have had our shares of deaths only from COVID, but we have still struggled to accept that we couldn't attend the funerals. We've always sent at least one member of our team to each funeral. It's how we like to pay our respects and share memories with families and friends. We note that we have had to be the relatives to our residents since lockdown began in March 16. All our staff are honoured to care for our residents, and that the most important person for them in the absence of their own loved ones. Please know we treat all of our residents as family anyway. Unfortunately, we lost a dearly loved member of our staff family early in April. We found strength in supporting each other during the most difficult time, and were able to say goodbye when she passed on her final journey. We will never forget the tremendous commitment and love she gave to us all. and we will be able to sit and reflect and remember her on her bench very soon in the garden. We would never have got through this so well without the tremendous support of all our relatives. They've been amazing in their praise and love for us all. My family is really anything we need our residents have amazingly that the pandemic has thrown at them. In such confusing times, they have adjusted to only seeing their relatives virtually, and they have truly embraced social media. They're featured daily on our revamped Facebook page and genuinely embrace taking part in our TikToks and starring in our daily news. Without social media, our amazing volunteer Tony enabling this, contact with the outside world would have been virtually ceased. COVID brought fear and challenges, but it has given us so much more than that. We are stronger, we work smarter, we are resilient, and although we were always a team, we are now a very close, strong, and happy family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm a bit lost for words. I want to thank you on behalf of all of us across Birmingham, and to all of our other care homes colleagues across Birmingham that have been there, supported people, supported relatives, and been there for carers too. I'd like to hand over to Dr. Peter Rook from the Birmingham Council of Faiths. Next slide, please, Camilla. Who will share a remembrance poem with you, and then we'll lead a minute's silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I hope that everyone has something handy, but don't worry if you don't, to hold something which is special to you. I have two things. The first is the praying hands, which I gave to my wife, Jeannie, who died 3 years ago in St. Mary's Hospice. And the second, I have a heart-shaped pebble, which she picked up on the beach and gave to me. So both of these are very special. And the poem which I'm going to read is They Are Gone. And we've slightly modified it to make it appropriate for today. You can shed tears that they have gone, or you can smile because they have lived. You can close your eyes and pray that they will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that they have left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see them, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember them, and only that they have gone, or you can cherish their memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what they would want, smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. David Harkin. Thank you. So we'll now have 1 minute silence. Thank you. It's a great honour for me to work with the Council of Faiths. And it's my choice to live and work in Birmingham because I feel that my own life is so much enriched by all the people of different faiths that I work with and that I come across. And we're very privileged in Birmingham because people of different faiths work very closely together. And that has been particularly so during this COVID pandemic. So we're going to have 4 people who are leading prayers and remembrance. They are of different faiths, but they represent all faiths. So we'll start with Reverend Matt Wilson from the Roe Heath Pavilion Church. Matt.
Thank you so much for that introduction, and also thanks to Sharon for the invitation to be with you all this evening. Delighted to be here, and all that's been shared and said so far I wholeheartedly agree with, and want to express my thanks to everybody for being together this evening. At Roe Heath Pavilion Church, I've been doing church online over the last 3 or 4 months or so, ever since the 22nd of March, Sunday 22nd of March, and that's been a new thing for me to experience. But also during this period, I've conducted on average 2 funerals a week. Not all COVID related, some have been. 1 or 2 folk from my own church community, but many who are strangers to me, and families who are strangers but have become friends as I have got to know them. Many families over the last few weeks, and shared life with them and tried to bring some sense of comfort. But it has been an honour to be able to journey with people, however difficult it has been. And I want to say this evening, I want to say a prayer. I don't know whether, Sharon, we have a video that's going to be shown, whether that can be uploaded, but that would be great. I want to share a 2-minute video as well.
It's all ready, Matt.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Sharon. Just briefly, in the context of this prayer, is there are 2 verses of scripture from the Bible that I often share with folk who are bereaved. And this is for people with faith or of different faith or without faith. And the verses are these. In John's Gospel, it says, Jesus says, "In my Father's house there are many rooms." And then in Psalm 23 from the Old Testament, there is the verse, "Surely the Lord's goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." So the Old Testament and the New Testament, the theme of home is prevalent, and it is throughout the whole of the Holy Bible. The imagery of home, as we have been sharing tonight, is an image of comfort. I don't know whether you can think about your home right now, but a favourite room perhaps, or a favourite chair. Home is a place to relax in and to be yourself. Whatever background, whatever religion, whatever experience in this world, we all value home. The people we live with, or the people that we invite into our home, the food that we share, the place just to be us. And care homes also provide that experience of home. The transition to a care home may be difficult, it may be challenging, it may not be quite the same, but the effort and the care and the love and the attention of care home staff is second to none as they try to create that sense of home and what is expected. And I've heard on many occasions from family who have been touched about the care and the attention and the love of care staff. This has been particularly acute, obviously, during this COVID-19 period and in the weeks and months to come as well. And the pain that has been experienced of people not being able to see, family not being able to see those they love in the care home. And it has been heartbreaking. From a Christian perspective, there is a promise of another home where Jesus says, in my Father's house, there are many rooms. That sense of belonging where there is no more pain, nor tears, nor suffering, nor separation. A place of beauty and of relaxation. A place just to be you. A place of joy and of celebration. A place once again to experience that comfort. This is eternal and immaterial. That sense of home isn't just a physical sense, it's also the presence of God with us. And from a Christian perspective, that sense that God never leaves us nor forsakes us. Yes, there is much loneliness that is experienced, not least in that last moment of breath, but also there is the promise of God saying, I will be with you always to the very end of the age, to stay with us so that we are never, ever alone. And there's a famous hymn, Abide With Me, that is sometimes sung at funerals. It's almost certainly sung at the FA Cup final. I'm going to split opinion here. I'm an Aston Villa fan, and I went to see Aston Villa lose 4-0 against Arsenal in the FA Cup final not many years ago, so you'll all be happy, those who are not Aston Villa fans here. But there I met Aled Jones. You may know him as the famous Welsh singer. And I had a conversation with him, and he sang Abide With Me at the FA Cup final. And the words to abide with me are all about home, what it means to abide with God in good times and in difficult times. So we're going to hear a song sung by Emily Sande, which is Abide With Me. And I want to offer this song to you, this hymn, as a prayer. There are many different ways in which we pray. I love to pray through music. So let's just take a moment to be quiet and to be still and to remember that God is with us, and the home that awaits is a home of beauty and of relaxation, comfort and of joy. So let's hear Emily Sande, Abide With Me. So may we bring comfort one to another, and may we know that the Lord abides with each of us. Amen.
Thank you, Matt.
Well, can I next introduce Rahana Sadiq? I've known Rahana a long time, and I know of the very good work which you do at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and now the UHB. And of course, the QE is very special to me because I was Director of Nursing there for 10 years. And working with faith and working with health, they are natural partners. So, Rahana, can I hand over to you for prayer and reflection?
Hoping that Rahana's here.
I think I didn't mute.
There we are.
Hi, Rahana.
I've been talking to you for a minute and I didn't. I'm sorry. I said I had to do one IT glitch. Let me start again. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Sharon, Claire, and everybody who have put today together this evening. It is such an honor to be here with all of you and with all of you wonderful people that have been caring for others. I could relate so much with our first speaker, and it has been tough and it has been hard, and it's been very, very beautiful as well. Those relationships that we have had with everyone, those of our own beliefs sharing those beliefs or religions, those who don't follow a religion, those who have different religions. And it's just been so wonderful as one human to another human to be able to share the things about life that we all have. So for today, I've been asked to do some prayers or reading from a Muslim or Islamic perspective. And I've chosen from the Quran, the Holy Book of Muslims, I've chosen a chapter called Light or An-Nur, verse 35. In the name of God, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah, God, is the light of the heavens and the earth. The parable of his light is as if there were a niche wherein is a lamp. The lamp is placed in a globe of glass. The globe is as if it were a brilliant star lit from the oil of a blessed tree, which is neither from the east nor of the west, whose oil almost gives light, though no fire touches it. Light upon light. Allah, God, guides to his light whom he wills, and Allah sets forth parables for mankind, and Allah knows all things. There is a beautiful saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that will bring so much comfort to Muslims or anyone who has lost a Muslim loved one. And this hadith, this saying, goes like this. When Allah causes a servant to die, he sends two angels to him, one bearing a cloth from paradise, and the other a fragrance from paradise. And they say, O peaceful soul, come out to relaxation and sweet fragrance, to a Lord who is not angry. Come out, because what you have sent forth is blessed. Then it will come out effusing the most fragrant smelling musk anyone has ever smelt with their nose. And on the sides of the heavens are angels that say, Glory be to God. Today a pure soul has come to us from the earth. He will not pass any gate of paradise except it will open for him, nor any angel except it will pray for him. He will be taken around until he will come to his kind Lord. Then the angels will prostrate to God. Then they will say, Our Lord, this is your servant so-and-so. We took his life while you know best about him. Allah, God, will say, Command him to prostrate, and his soul will prostrate. Then Angel Mikael will be summoned, and it will be declared, Place this soul with the most precious of believers until I question you about him on the day of judgment. So his grave is ordered to expand for him 70 units horizontally and vertically, and silk is spread for him. If he had memorized anything from the Quran, it will illuminate him. Otherwise, a brilliant light will be made for him, as bright as the sun. Then a door of paradise will open for him, and he shall see his place in paradise every morning and every evening. May your loved ones be blessed with the joys of being with those whom they love, that went before them, passing and journeying from this world to the next. May they be granted the most beautiful places in Jannah, in the gardens of paradise, and may God's mercy shower upon them, and may all the good deeds of their lives be rewarded in greatest abundance. May you find peace and solace during this time of your parting, until that time comes when you will be reunited with your loved ones once again. Amen.
Thank you, Hannah. That was lovely and very touching. I now introduce Sonia Nuff, who worked in the multi-faith chaplaincy at Queensborough Hospital for a very long time, and is very much therefore a multi-faith person, and is now spiritual care lead at St Mary's Hospice. Sonia.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you for inviting me, Sharon, and Peter as well. Thank you for getting me involved. Just want to say, I'm really grateful for being here. The last few months have been really, really difficult for so many people. I've sort of come across a lot of people who, were grieving but not able to process the emotion properly because not being able to see their loved ones, and the funeral hasn't been very easy either. So it's been a lot of emotional turmoils. And I think we missed that physical contact with each other. And I think I can talk about mainly with South Asian community very much, with the first 13 days or 40 days, we are with each other a lot, helping each other to process it. And I think not being able to do that has been quite difficult for many families, so I've got a poem that I would like to read first by Rabindranath Tagore, who's win a lot of awards as well. And also at the end I will do a little 2 segment of prayer from Hindu daily prayers. I think I've got it on the screen if it's possible to put it out, please.
Next slide, please, Camilla.
Thank you. Farewell, my friends. It was beautiful, as long as it lasted, the journey of my life. I have no regrets whatsoever, said the pain I will leave behind. Those dear hearts who love and care, and the strings pulling at the heart and soul. The strong arms that held me up when my own strength let me down at the turning of my life. I came across good friends, friends who stood by me even when time raced me by. Farewell, farewell, my friends, I smile, bid you goodbyes. No shed tears, for I need them not. All I need is your smile. If you feel sad, do think of me, for that's what I will like. When you live in hearts of those you love, remember, then you never die.
Thank you, Sonia. That's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, because within Hinduism, there's the idea the soul never dies anyway, and it goes on forever. And and we also believe that we live on people's memory, so it's like celebrating what we lived for as well. There's 2 parts of the prayers I'm going to read next, which is from a daily prayer. I'll read the Hindi version first. Hari Om. माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहूं किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहूं मैं किसकी, तुम बिन और न दूजा, आस करूं मैं किसकी, ओम जय जगदीश हरे. Means, Almighty Lord, you are my father and mother, you are my refugee. Swami, you are my refugee. Apart from you, my Lord, there is no one else for me. I take shelter in you. I aspire for you. Om, be victorious to you. You are the Lord of the universe. The next. दिन बंधु दुख हरता ठाकुर तुम मेरे, स्वामी रक्षक तुम मेरे, अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने शरण लगाओ, द्वार पड़ा तेरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे. O merciful Lord, you are the friend of the helpless. You are the remover of sorrow. Swami, you are my Lord. You are my protector. Please offer me your hand of protection and take me under your protection. I surrender myself at your feet. Om, be victorious to you. You are the Lord of the universe.
Thank you so much. And finally, from the representing the Jewish community, could I welcome Rabbi Yossi Jacobs, who is the Chief Minister for the Birmingham Hebrew Congregation.
Thank you. We talk about the soul. The body houses the soul, and therefore that's the holiness of the body. And therefore in Judaism, there is utmost respect which is given to the body even after the passing of a person. And when a person passes away, we traditionally talk about the soul and the bond of the life everlasting. And the prayer which I'm about to read is traditionally read at a Shiva house, which is a house of mourning for 7 days after a person passes away. Friends, family, and the community gather together in the place where the soul lived, and they recite prayers, and this is the memorial prayer which we recite. So I'll read it first, a part of it in Hebrew, and then I'll read the rest in English. Ana Hashem melech moli rachamim elehir ruchais l'chol basar asher b'yodcha nafshos l'chaim v'amesim. Ana kabe v'chascha godel es nishmais k'moi shekosov morav tzuvcha asher zefan tereach apot l'chais nivach neged b'nei adam. O Lord and King, full of compassion, God of the spirits of all flesh, in whose hand are the souls of the living and the dead, receive, we beseech you, in your great loving kindness, the souls of all those who have passed away from the coronavirus. Have mercy upon them. How great is your goodness, which you have stood up for those that fear you, which you bestow upon those that trust in you before the children of men. May the Lord, who heals the brokenhearted, bind up their wounds, grant consolation to the mourners, strengthen and support them in the day of their sadness and grief, and remember them and their families for a long and good life. Put into their hearts the love and fear of you, that they may serve you with a perfect heart, and let their latter end be peace. As a mother comforts her son, so will I comfort you, and in Jerusalem you shall find comfort. Your sun shall no more set, neither shall your moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be your everlasting light, and your days of mourning shall end. He will destroy death forever, and the Lord God will wipe away the tears from off all faces, and remove the reproach of his people from off all the earth, for the Lord has spoken it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. Thank you to all of our friends for those words. I would like to hand you over to Professor Simon Halsey, who's the choral director of the City of Birmingham Symphony Chorus and a professor at the University of Birmingham. Simon will talk about sharing of music and light with you. At this point, if you want to hold or light a candle, then please do. Thank you, Simon.
Hello, everybody. I'm so pleased to be here. You won't know me, but I've been so impressed by the last hour and to share this time with you all. My job, my wonderful job, is to make students sing at Birmingham University. And recently we made an international recording with university choirs from all over the world. And it's what's called a virtual recording, because of course no one can have rehearsals together, we can't meet. So we have rehearsals online, and then everybody records their contribution on their telephone and then sends it to a central place, and some poor person then edits hundreds, thousands of tapes and makes them sound wonderful, makes a film, brings it all together. And this enormous work has kept us busy and happy during lockdown. It's a lovely tape, and you will see on it young faces coming into focus from many countries across the world. It's called Earth Song. And just before we play it to you, I thought I would just share a bit of the text with you, which is lovely. Sing, be, live, see. This stormy hour, the wind, it stirs the scorched earth, and it cries out in vain. But music and singing have been my refuge, and music and singing will be my light. Through darkness and pain and strife, I'll sing, I'll be, I'll live, I'll see. Peace. I hope you enjoy this lovely film. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Some comments in the chat box about that piece of music. I tried really hard this time. Every time I hear that, I have a little cry. So I tried very hard to not. But what that music does for me, and the reason that we chose it for tonight, is it really brings together that sense of us all being together, even though we're apart. Before I hand over to Ruth, who will talk to us about access to bereavement support and resources, I just want to say thank you to you all for being here. Thank you to all of our care home staff. Our love and best wishes to those who have been bereaved and are going through bereavement as a result of deaths through these times. And a thank you to Peter, to Kate, to Steve, to Rahana, to Andrew Cohen House, to Camilla and Rich, to Sonia, to Rabbi Jacobs, and to Simon. Thank you all for being here. And if I can hand you over to Ruth now.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, just to really echo that, Sharon, this has been such a wonderful time, just to really well put together, and just amazing contributions. So my name is Ruth Nelson, and I work for Birmingham Voluntary Services Council, BVSC, and I'm also a trainer, a bereavement trainer for the charity Care for the Family. So I support both people who've been bereaved and train up people in communities to how to support other people. And I just wanted to kind of just pull together just a very quick look around what support there is, particularly around Birmingham. But I really want to start with, actually, our loss and our bereavement is very personal to you, in the sense that, you know, someone said it's your mother, it's your father, it's your sister, your brother, the person you knew in the care home, your colleague, all of those things. That person has now died, and just that your own self-care is really important, and how you work and support that. And actually, each of us does a different journey of bereavement. We might want support from professionals sooner than others. Others we might take a long time to come to. But it's really important that we kind of know what options are there. This is a new world that you navigate without that person. So what I wanted to try and do is kind of just give two clear signposts of things that of website you can do, and just show some of the work that's available through St Mary's Hospice as well. So 2 websites that I would really encourage to point you towards. One is the Route to Wellbeing website. It's Birmingham wide. That highlights lots of support services in bereavement and mental health, but it might be that you want something that might help you kind of connect in a different way, maybe walking or doing different things to help with that, and some combine that together. So there's lots of information and support on there. Major bereavement support charities like Cruise, Mental Health Like Mind are there as well. But if you go to that website of r2wbirmingham.info, that will give you lots of information. And then if you're beyond Birmingham, but also looking at maybe some specific support as well, the charity ataloss.org has a comprehensive list of 700 or 800 different bereavement and wider support organisations that are there for different things, so you can search underneath that as well. And it's really important that you take your time and look at those, and you might need to come to bereavement support at different times. And sometimes just, that whole thing of finding some friends, finding some people who will listen. There are stories to be told about your loved one. There's stories that need to be heard, and that's really important. And then just to the next slide, just to highlight some of the work that the bereavement support that's available at St Mary's. So the bereavement support that's there is one-to-one, it's free, and you don't have to be part of the hospice or have a loved one who's died at the hospice to support it. As long as you're over 18 and living in Birmingham and Sandwell, you can come along and ring. So either go through the website or go through the telephone directly to St Mary's and be put through to the bereavement service that's there. I think it's just really important that that if you need to talk to somebody, and it might be that it's not this bereavement that's happened, but maybe something that's happened previous, one that's happened a long time ago, and COVID and the things that have happened might have brought that to mind again. So it's just so important to kind of really be involved in that and to do that now. And really just if you do want to talk now, we can kind of be able to listen to that. If you just want to do something, either to me personally or to who else is here to, sorry.
Beth's here, Ruth. I'm here, Beth's here.
Yes, so sorry. So myself, Beth, or Sharon, just please, if you need this time, we're here to listen and to help you, and to maybe help you get signpost to something that you might need help with as well. But yeah, thank you again. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. We'll stop sharing the slides now, please, Camilla. You're welcome to go now. Service is finished. I think we'll hope to do this again in some form in the future, and you'd be welcome to join us again. Thank you again all for coming. Good night.